And I'm very glad with that. Really, we are very glad that a movement have already started to sue those war criminals. And in particular, this villain, George W. Bush, because he's cheap and he's really a war criminal and should be sued. As for the Prime Minister of Britain, I think maybe this movement will be a little bit slow because he's going to fall before suing him, I think. And I'll keep inform the media about the developments in this regard. There are professors of law from Arab countries, from European countries, and from Latin American countries. The third point, the mercenaries, the British mercenaries in particular, stationed in Kuwait, they have repeated recently the allegation that the Iraqi military persons, members of the Iraqi armed forces, they are disguising themselves by putting on civilian clothes. The truth here in Iraq is that hundreds of thousands of Iraqi citizens, and they are in millions, really, they are in millions. Those crooks who caused those allegations from Kuwait and British military in particular, they don't know or they want to evade saying the facts, because there is no Iraqi military disguising himself. Those are Iraqi civilians fighting against those mercenaries. This is the fact. Our people is fighting those mercenaries and invaders, and they will be eliminated gradually. As we have said, they had invaded our country, they are thrusting towards Baghdad, they are like a boa snake. Now its length is more than 500 kilometers, and we are going to cut this snake in pieces. How we are going to cut it, we have already started ambushing them, killing here, attacking there, and we will continue. Who is doing that? Not the Iraqi armed forces, only few of our armed forces. The people is doing that. This crook in Kuwait want to distort the fact and saying that they are military people disguised in civilian clothes, and that's completely untrue. Only yesterday, British, by the way, British military, not the Americans, the British, they put fire into the places where we are having the foodstuff for Basra governorate. They destroyed the wardrobe for the following 75,000 tons of different kind of foodstuff. And this is the breakdown of their crime. 1,051 tons of children milk. The total weight of all those different kind of supplies for the citizens are 75,900 tons, which is the load of 20,000 trucks. The load of 20,000 trucks. And those villains talking about bringing a humanitarian aid to the Iraqis. You can compare. You can see what kind of sick dogs we are facing. What kind of really sick dogs coming from the West in order to invade Iraq. Reports about the casualties during last night up till this morning because of the barbarian air bombardments on different Iraqi towns and cities starting from Baghdad are the following. In Baghdad, the casualties, 107 wounded, 68 martyred. An ambulance carrying a wounded citizen to take him to the hospital because he needs operation. That ambulance had been hit by one of those villains with cluster bomb. The wounded citizen died, martyred. The driver of the ambulance killed, and the person who is taking care of him in order to get him to the hospital also martyred. Congratulations for the superpower. Congratulations for this crook Blair. Now they started hitting the ambulances. The American mercenaries carried out dropping some of their forces near the border in Anbar Governorate, that's near the border between Iraq and Syria, Iraq and Jordan. They were faced, and in particular in Ana, they call it Ana, it's with the border with Syria, and the citizens in Ana, they faced those invaders and fought against them, and they left the place, and the Iraqi side had destroyed only 2 vehicles. In the same governorate, and near the center of the governorate, that means Ramadi, the Fidaiyi Saddam and other armed militias, they succeeded in gunning down one of the unmanned planes, that means Predator. They bombarded the Department of Fighting Against Fire. When fire took place, the people who are fighting fires, they bombarded the Department of Firefighting. And they killed 3 of the Iraqis in that department, martyred. In Ba'quba, in Diyala, on the side of the borders between Iraq and Iran, also our people had shot down the same kind of planes, Predator, and it fell in an area called Imam Wais. All of these we are sending camera crews in order to get the pictures. In the air raids, the American mercenaries bombarded a factory south of Najaf, for ready-made clothes. They bombarded the factory of ready-made clothes. It's well known in that area. This is a mass destruction weapon factory. These are the points I wish to touch it, and I'm ready to receive your questions.
سيد الوزير، تطرقت الأنباء اليوم حول ما قيل أنه قرار الرئاسي البريطاني حددوه الوقف عمليات تقدم القوات في العراق. كيف تنظرون إلى
هذا يعني هذا الجواب يعني.
تحدثوا عن تقدم القوات. في مسألة أخرى، هناك أنباء وربما شائعات في بغداد عن مشاركة عربية وليست الولايات فقط، مشاركة ربما طيارين أو ضباط من بعض الدول العربية في العمليات العسكرية.
ليس لدي علم، يعني لا أعتقد أنه هذا جزء ربما من يعني عمليات الدعاية اللي يقومون بها، ولكن موضوع أنه يعني أوقفوا 4 أيام أو هذا، أنا أعتقد جزء من الديسبشن.